What have you learned about technologies from the process of constructing this product? Technologies have been a big influence on the product construction I have found out throughout the entirety of this course. I have learnt and adapted to using particular software when working on the progression of my product. A number of technologies have been used. This includes blogs such as Posterous and social networking sites like Facebook and YouTube, as well as the design software of Photoshop Elements 5.0, my own version of Photoshop being CS2, and Quark Express Passport. When it came to editing videos together, other technologies were used, for example, Windows Movie Maker and Unled Video Studio 8. Each of these enabled me to complete different aspects of the product, each adding to the overall construction. Blogs. Using Posterous allowed me to keep track of where I was going with my product and was also very useful for keeping everything in one place and organised in such a way that things were easy to find. The blog was also a useful backup should hard copies be lost, since there was a download feature enabled, so that should I have needed to, I could download my work in case of deletions. The blog also helped when it came to analysing my past work, allowing me to look back over what I had already done to an extent, and it also made comparisons easier. Facebook and YouTube. Using these sites I was able to gain feedback from a wider range of people. On Facebook I used the photo uploader to upload pictures of my fonts and practice pages so that feedback could be given and also constructive criticism. Some of the comments given actually aided in my choice of certain aspects of the product, like which font to use for my masthead and throughout the magazine. YouTube enabled easy access to uploading videos and also viewing, but it had a useful annotating feature should I have chosen to use it. Photoshop was a great piece of software to use for designing my product or while searching features for it after the front cover was completed. Photoshop, having used it before, I found it fairly great to navigate around, and it was fairly straightforward to establish what I wanted to achieve through using it. Once the style had been created, I knew my other conventions had to match, so used the software constructively through trial and error of different effects. Sometimes Photoshop does freeze, but if you save frequently enough, you are covered. Quark was a piece of software I'd never used before, so at first I found it extremely hard to navigate and understand how it worked. But as I got to grips with it, I understood how to use it enough to create a suitable layout for both my contents page and double page spread. It is obvious, however, that Quark isn't for design elements though, as I had to import most of my pictures from Photoshop after saving them as PNG files or JPEGs. Windows Movie Maker. Using this video editing software, I was able to put videos together easily with pre-recorded footage or actually by capturing the video straight through my webcam and microphone. Movie Maker lets you capture as much footage as you need and also allows you to record a narrative for your set time period on the timeline feature. You can add colourful titles and transitions with a simple touch in Movie Maker and style your video to an extent. However, a few limitations to Movie Maker are that it has a tendency to freeze if you try to do too much at once, and also it is hard to get it to accept certain file types. I had to convert a few files before Movie Maker would actually allow the use of them within the software. Unled Video Studio 8. This is a piece of software I use at home to render certain footage correctly before transporting it into Windows Movie Maker. Unled is very good for doing the simple things like cutting down audio and video segments. However, like Windows Movie Maker, it isn't too good on the actual stylizing of videos.